Here's an important question for you. What can you learn from the world's greatest, most iconic brands? If you're a startup founder, then listen up. So today's talk is going to be dedicated to what we can learn from the world's most amazing brands that we all love and that we all identify very closely with. So the first tip for you as a startup founder is to disrupt yourself before you become disrupted. A lot of us founders pride ourselves on being disruptors and being trendsetters. So always just make an effort to maintain that mindset of I'm going to constantly disrupt the system, and by being innovative and not sort of settling in and accepting the status quo. Amazon and Starbucks and Facebook are of course prime examples of multi-billion dollar companies that were able to do that, right? Smart brands attempt to be omnipresent and deliver great value. This is essentially what it's all about, right? Like, we've all chosen this very specific, very unique line of work because at the end of the day we do want to make an impact, but most importantly we do want to deliver value. For instance, Facebook a couple years back did not have a mobile strategy, but now many millions, if not billions, of its users use mobile to access Facebook. So it just goes to show you that looking ahead and thinking ahead can have some very major consequences, positive consequences on your business. Another example is Amazon building multi-billion-dollar industries by being a disruptor. Okay. Number two is integrate your marketing efforts. Just having a logo, having a really fancy looking, wonderful logo is not enough, as most of you probably know. You need to combine digital and social media marketing efforts to have an integrated, sort of omnipresent, streamlined, unified marketing presence, whether locally or globally. Number three is have a clear and consistent brand purpose. Most really good companies out there have their mission, vision, and goals are very clear. Everybody knows them. There's no ambiguity there. Everybody knows why we go to the office every day. It's very clear. So the more effectively that you communicate that to your stakeholders and to your staff and to your audience, the greater of an impact that your brand eventually ends up making, right? So great brands have genuine, clearly articulated and consistent missions. So it needs to be genuine, it needs to come from the heart. It needs to be effectively communicated, and it needs to be sort of consistent, right? Number four, and this is a really big one, user experience is a key differentiator. You can have all of those things down to the T, but if you get one complaint or a bad review or a negative experience, that can really, have a very negative effect on your efforts. So user experience is key. I think more people have very higher standards right now. They have very high standards in terms of their user experience, whether it's in an offline or online setting. So as long as you make an effort to streamline that, make sure that it's good, it's gonna go a long way in terms of your brand and positioning. And lastly, there are advantages to being local rather than being multinational. There's a lot of new cultural trends where users and buyers and potential customers favor local brands over international brands and over multinational brands. So just make sure that you're capitalizing on that. That was not lastly. Lastly, now is not all customers are the same. Seems like a no-brainer. I know it seems like a no-brainer, but just always be cognizant of that and have that in the back of your head as you are streamlining and delivering your marketing efforts across various different channels. Is just to remember that when you're marketing to millennials, you're gonna market differently when you're marketing to baby boomers or to Gen Z or whatever the case may be. So just always be aware that your marketing techniques and strategies need to be tailored to the various different stakeholders that you're addressing. So yeah, that was it. That was the talk for today. Hope you enjoyed it.